All right, everyone, welcome back. And obviously our channel About Teams, and you can find us on YouTube or Twitter, known as X now, at aboutteams.com for our content, and aboutteams.com if you like our writing. In this video, pretty basic, we're just going to be talking about last week's divisional games, which for the most part is very exciting, and then previewing tomorrow's games and who we think will win those and who will be heading to the Super Bowl. How you feeling, Colin, with only three games left total in the year in 2 weeks?
It's definitely flown by. I mean, it's been a good season, definitely pretty unpredictable. A lot of cool games, can't really complain, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely been a great season. I guess we'll start with a recap of last week for probably the least interesting game, which was the first one in which we both picked the Ravens to beat the Texans. And I didn't really expect it to be necessarily this much of a blowout, but, you know, Lamar did his thing. The Ravens defense is really good. The Texans' only touchdown was a punt return. So kind of a little bit fluky. It was tied at halftime, but the Ravens just won a 24-0 run in the second half to end it, which was a great season for Houston. I don't really have much to be taken away. Houston's still very young, and obviously CJ Stroud's rookie year. I think this is a great season, and
they went further than expected anyway.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they won the division over the Jaguars, who seem like the clear favorites. They beat a red hot Joe Flacco Browns team, but you know, this is where you improve, and I think they'll only get better from here. But you know, the Ravens just more experienced right now. If you have anything else to add on to that one, but it was just, you know,
a good game. I mean, to be expected. The Ravens are red hot. They got a great defense. I'd be worried if I was the Chiefs watching that.
Oh yeah, I think they were definitely taking a look before their game, which was probably the game of the week. But also another contender, man, the Packers and 49ers. I thought they were going to do it, but that big missed field goal to put them up by 7 instead, 4-point game. Brock Purdy leads a game-winning drive, even though it wasn't his best game. Jordan Love at the end with a chance to win it does a Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers throw across the body pick. But, you know, I mean, it's hard to, you know, kind of crap on Jordan Love, I guess, because it was still, like the Texans, I think, a much better season than what anyone expected from them.
No, yeah, they did really good.
Yeah, that was just a fun game. And hopefully, you know, I mean, the 49ers just had to capitalize. But, man, if they lost this game, what would the narratives have been? Would Brock Purdy be the team's quarterback next year, even if he doesn't show up tomorrow? That'd be interesting. But you know, it makes the Cowboys.
Teams are kind of jumping the gun on like getting rid of people immediately. Like if you make the playoffs, like that kind of just means you need a little bit more. Like, does it really mean you need to keep firing and getting rid of and finding new? I feel like there's been a trend lately with the NFL where like a team does well and then they just like start firing people that were like important to the team, you know?
I see what you mean. And I would say, like, in the Packers scenario, you know, like, people obviously shouldn't be jumping the gun. Oh, Jordan Love, you know, may not be the answer. But I feel like San Francisco.
Who else, though? You're going to start fresh now?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I just think with San Francisco, there's a lot more pressure because their window is now. You know, eventually Debo's contract, Nick Bosa's contract, I think, kicks in
next
loaded,
year.
Yeah. So I think the 49ers have this 1 to 2 year window where it's like, oh, crap, if we don't win and now we have to pay Brock Purdy soon. Like,
I think it would come down to like either they keep Brock Purdy basically, or they would have to like sign like a really good QB that they already know is a good QB. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I don't know if you saw this. It came out over this week that the 49ers tried to recruit Tom Brady this offseason.
He would never. He hates the 49ers.
Yeah, but, you know, they were trying, and it shows, I think, kind of like
they probably would have won another Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they still could win. We'll see. But and then kind of going to Sunday's game, this one, Lions, Buccaneers. It was a pretty good game.
Absolutely.
Lions had control most of the way. I thought maybe Tampa could do this, but, you know, Detroit was the better team. Baker Mayfield, you know, earned himself a contract this offseason.
Absolutely.
He's a free agent. Tampa Bay has some big pieces that are free agents: Baker, Mike Evans, and Antoine Woodfield.
They're
Jr.
definitely going to sign Mike Evans.
They have to sign him. All probably if they can. That was a good game, and Detroit continues this great season. I can give them their respect, but the defense still, for whatever reason,
I picked Detroit against Tampa Bay, right? Oh yeah, you went with the long shot. You're down bad.
Yeah, it's weird if you look at it. Like, I'm still not in love with Detroit. I mean, their defense is their defense just stinks. Their offense, I think, I didn't give them enough credit.
So weak.
Their offense is great with St. Brown. He's probably a top 5 receiver, arguably. Man,
Goff's been playing better than usual too. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, it's been a great season, man. Dan Campbell has those guys ready, but it'll be interesting in our preview who we have, and then probably the last game we'll get into, or the last game. Probably the most heartbreaking for you, since your hottest take earlier in the year was this team was going to the Super Bowl, the Bills.
And they probably were too if it wasn't for the stupid kick.
I would agree, but I'm going to blame it more on Diggs. Look at one of the biggest plays of the game, that Josh Allen throws a beautiful 60-yard bomb.
A dime. There's a dime.
And Diggs can't come down with it. Goes, it's a over the shoulder, but you're getting paid whatever it is, $20+ million. You got to come down with that. And
not only that, but he hasn't been playing well most of the season.
Yeah, he was red hot for the first 6 weeks, and then he disappeared. I saw a stat. I think it was either the last 8 or 10 games. Khalil Shakir had more yards than Stephon Diggs. That just cannot happen.
He should be getting a nice contract soon.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, it was over 8 to 10 weeks. Shakir had 500 yards. Diggs had 400. It's
and Diggs is one of those players that gets mad when other people don't perform. Yet when he doesn't perform, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's that famous picture a year ago in the divisional round, him getting upset at Josh Allen. He threw a temper tantrum this offseason. Showed up late to camp, but you can't make that catch when Josh Allen played a great game and had another great playoffs. In that one game against the Bengals, Diggs threw him under the bus. His brother was tweeting for Diggs to come to Dallas. Frankly, from the Bills, do you want to keep him or do you look to trade him? That'll be an off-season topic.
It's not really working with him. I feel like they are a star wide receiver away from a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That's basically what cost them the game this time around. They had home field advantage. The defense wasn't playing terrible. I mean, it was going to be a shootout. We knew it was going to come down to one score.
This was the year, too. Fear the Bills to beat the Chiefs. Now Mahomes is 3-0 against the Bills in the playoffs.
And now it really is showing that they're just down to a wide receiver that can make plays. You know,
really not having someone even said Gabe Davis is known as a playoff performer. He was out for this game. Maybe having him there running those deep routes. He drops a lot of balls, but he also makes some great plays. It kind of showed not having him there was critical.
Are there any receivers coming into free agency or anything like that that would be notable?
Well, Mike Evans. I saw on Bill's Twitter, T. Higgins is a free agent.
He did pretty mediocre this season, though.
Yeah, but that was also, I think, due in large part to Joe Burrow getting injured, and Joe Burrow, I think people forget, sucked for the first 6 weeks like he usually does for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's still 700 yards as the wide receiver. I mean, 2, but you also have Tyler Boyd there who gets his touches, Mixon, obviously Jamar. So I think T. Higgins, if you want to pursue, would actually be the best option.
And, it's probably a cheaper option than Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So, maybe not a wide receiver.
And a younger option.
Yeah. Maybe not a wide receiver 1 for their team, but, I mean, add that with Diggs. I feel like, defenses would have to make up a scheme. I mean, Diggs is Diggs. You know what I mean? You're not going to put your second corner on him.
Yeah. If I'm looking at Buffalo, I don't know what Von Miller's contract is, but he didn't do shit this year. So got to try and move on.
Yeah, I thought he had a sack. I thought he had a sack last game or something.
I think he did, but he had, I think it was I don't even know the exact stats, but he did not have a good year at
I mean,
all.
he's really old too. I mean,
That
like when
too.
he was Super Bowl MVP in what year? Like 2014.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was a great career, but if I'm the Bills, I'm going to look to address the edge because getting pressure is going to be critical.
Yeah, they need a really good edge rusher too. I feel like that's a big thing. Like their defense could be slightly better too. Granted they were down Tre'Davious White. I believe they were down.
I feel like Tre'Davious White's been missing like the past 3 years, though. Like
Yeah,
you
you're
got
right.
to like almost account for him being out, even though he's a great player. I'd say the biggest blow was Matt Milano not being there, but
That's
they played
tough.
most of the season without him. But yeah, maybe we'll address Bills talk more this offseason.
Yeah.
But now let's get into the championship games and who's heading to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I mean, first, I guess we'll start off in the AFC. You got the first game at 3:00. Chiefs. This, I'd say, probably, arguably, Mahomes is making a case that he could be the GOAT right in front of our eyes. Every time we doubt him, man, he just pulls through. And if he beats the Ravens, I think that would even cement his case more. But I think the Ravens are the better team in this one.
I kind of agree with what you're saying with Mahomes, but I think he'd always be number 2 because he lost to Brady so many times.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that Super Bowl ring's clear, but Mahomes beat them in the regular season when they played too.
Yeah.
Brady had his number in the playoffs, but even then, I'd say this Kansas City defense is different than the ones that played Brady, and that's why I think they have a better shot in this game, even though the offense isn't quite the same. They slowed Buffalo down the second half to only 7 points. But, I'm still going to go with the Ravens in this one at home.
Me too.
We saw how they looked last week. Zay Flowers has been turning into a wide receiver one. That running game with Lamar is going to be great. And the defense, I think, is going to have Mahomes frustrated, to say the least.
Absolutely. I feel like Mahomes, unless he's having like a really like I feel like when Mahomes is having a bad game, he kind of loses it. You know what I mean? He's not like that. That's where I kind of think he's not equal to Brady. Like Brady locks in and kind of gets it done. When you rattle Mahomes enough and like not a lot of things go his way, like I feel like he definitely gets worse. And the Ravens defense definitely, if there's any defense in the league other than maybe San Francisco, could rattle Mahomes, it would probably be the Ravens.
Yeah. So I think my official prediction is going to be the Ravens to win this one, but I think it'll be close because Kansas City never goes down without a fight.
What's the score? Like one touchdown, you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with like a 24-17 type of game.
24-17. I guess that's fair. I think, I mean, if it comes down to a field goal, we know who's winning.
Yeah. Although we saw last week, came down to a field goal. Jeez. Pulled it out.
But Tyler Bass or Justin Tucker.
Yeah. Although, I do feel bad for Tyler Bass. But, yeah, so I guess we'll both have the Ravens winning that one. And then the next game, 49ers at Lions. I've doubted the Lions.
No, they're not at Lions, are they?
No, it's in San Francisco.
Oh, it's in San Francisco.
So the biggest thing for this game is Debo is going to be playing.
Good.
I've doubted the Lions all year, man, and it's about time.
You're gonna go with them?
It's about time I give them my respect and say that they're going to finish second in the NFC. They are not winning this game at all. San Francisco is just way better. Defense, offense. Detroit season, great season. You guys are building something special, but you guys are not being San Francisco. No shot.
Absolutely.
Better. It's no shot to Detroit, man, but your defense is not Super Bowl level at all. Their offense is, and I think their offense will put up some points, but I'm going to go with the
Lions are a young team. They have time
to
keep making. I think they're going to keep showing up in the playoffs.
As a Vikings fan, though, I gotta disrespect them.
Yeah, they're gonna have their division for a while, probably, or at least be top 2 in their division for a decent amount of time.
I'm sorry, the Bears.
What
they do depends what the Bears do in the draft, but I'm really high on Caleb Williams.
I'm so done with the Bears. Honestly, I feel like they're just like.
I'm done with Justin Fields. If they trade out of that pick, forget any Bears. They're finishing last again because Justin Fields is not the answer there. But
you don't think so?
No, not
All right.
one bit. They
I
said
think they
that
should
last
just
year.
grab Marvin Harrison and give it a try. You know?
Wouldn't do it for me. But yeah, the Lions are going to run this division for a little bit, and at least this year. But I think coaching is very important, and their offensive coordinator Ben Johnson is going to get the Commanders' job. It looks like he's done a great job, but Jared Goff, St. Brown, they'll put up points, and I think they'll
Yeah.
actually keep this competitive. But I'm going to go with the Lions, like in a 34-24 type of game.
Lions beating San Fran?
No, Niners being
Niners.
I think.
Yeah. Our picks are kind of boring for these, but we were kind of riding this since the beginning. I'm thinking Niners, Ravens, Super Bowl.
Yep, that's what I have too, and that's what
have it. The Lions, honestly, they had a really cool run. I bet Lions fans are at least satisfied up until this point.
Oh yeah,
NFC Championship, that's pretty cool.
Lions
and a lot of potential in the future if they play their cards right.
Yeah,
but the Niners are just a way better team. Like defense comparison is like.
I would say offense, you could argue either way, maybe more so just San Francisco because McCaffrey is the difference maker there. But Jahmyr Gibbs in his own right's been top 5 this season.
But like I said, young, inexperienced. Yeah. I think the Niners are just a better team overall.
Oh yeah, I think the big difference is defense in this one. The Lions will, obviously not score every drive, but the 49ers, I mean, with even in their playoff wins, man, Puka Nacua had almost like 200 yards, and Baker Mayfield was dicing them for most of the game. But the Lions got their stop when they needed to, but it just won't be enough against this Niners team.
They're just too good. Did they play in the regular season against each other?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the matchups here, like even the Lions O-line, like, are you really stopping Nick Bosa and Chase Young hunting for a Super Bowl?
I will give the Lions some credit. Their O-line is pretty good, so I think they'll be able to contain them. But Nick Bosa and Chase Young will get pressures. Obviously, if it turns into sacks, and this game could get ugly. But I'll give the Lions offense credit, one of the best. But we'll see, man. I'm excited. Obviously, championship games.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
I don't know if that's how we want to wrap it up here. I mean, we'll probably get into maybe over the week during the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the coaching hires. There have been some interesting ones. Maybe why Bill Belichick hasn't gotten a job, but
Harbaugh. I saw that the Falcons picked somebody up too.
Yeah, they picked up the Rams defensive coordinator. Interesting. I mean, he obviously was
Rod Mayo, I believe.
Yeah, John Harbaugh to the Chargers.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I think there's only 2 jobs left open, or it's like the Commanders and Seahawks.
I don't think Bill Belichick wants to go to either of those teams.
Yeah, no. I think the Falcons was an interesting one, but Raheem Morris, the Rams DC that led them to that Super Bowl just 2 years ago, got the job. So that's whatever.
I mean, maybe he goes to college.
Maybe, but I also saw something just recently with Kansas City. If Andy Reid retires, does Bill Belichick take that job?
That would be so dumb.
Yeah, it would be interesting though. Wouldn't that be an exciting story?
That would be the worst. that would be like horrible.
Yeah,
like he'd win for sure, but
yeah,
the defense, like an improved defense on the Chiefs, great.
Yeah, I don't know if Mahomes would even like that hire, despite Bill Belichick being the greatest coach.
I mean, Mahomes would like it after the first season, probably.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens, man. Let Kansas City cook. All right, but with that being said, I think that's the end of the video. Make sure to keep liking, subscribing, and we'll catch you in the next one.